Hi, it's me again, Dixie, and welcome to Gender After Talk, the podcast. My segment today is something that a lot of people have DM'd me to talk about, because most of my TikToks, if you've seen it, it's somewhere along the line of a lot of relationships. While some of those are life experiences of my friends, like love experiences of my friends, a lot of those are like really personal to me. Some are like for healing. I'm just gonna make this podcast short and sweet because it's gonna talk about past and present relationship, and it has nothing to do with my past partners. It has everything to do with me. I really adore those people who have been like sweethearts from high school sweethearts, because they have grown so much over high school, over their teenage years to adulting. And for one person to actually grow in love, in spirit, and with that person during that span of relationship is a really, really, really big achievement. I think it's something more, there's just really something fulfilling about that, because when I'm gonna say a lot of us have seen relationships thrive through their whole adulthood, because when you're in high school, there's a lot of peers pressuring you, there's a lot of stories that you want to like put in your head, and there's like just really a lot of things you still are figuring out. In adulthood, there's a different set of friends, and these set of friends are gonna help you try to grow out of that teenage years, because adulthood is going to be a lot of, it's going to be a lot of job seeking, it's going to be a lot of trusting people, it's going to be a lot of healing, it's also a lot of addressing past traumas. First thing that I'm going to talk about today is about addressing your past traumas, because if you don't address your past traumas, it's going to affect the whole relationship that you're going to have, whether that be friendships or relationships. And the reality of being in a healthy relationship, like when a person meets, for example, I have had a very troubled, disturbed, and chaotic, let's say early years. I have had that, and I have never disclosed that to anyone, not until I went into my teenage years. And being a teenager, you just don't know who to listen to, because nobody knows how to handle those things. Like, you're gonna listen to your friends, you're gonna listen to a lot of people, and that's fine. That's really okay, because you're navigating your way through going out to some certain situations. And that I've met one person who's worked through those traumas a lot. It's gonna be really hard for the both of us to actually make things work, because this person who's healed, who's mature enough to step away out of certain situations, this person might not want to go back and revisit what he's healed from, because healing is not linear. It's not linear, and as much as possible, you don't want triggers. You don't want one small detail to like burn all of what you've worked for. You know what I mean? For me, it's just one day you feel okay, you feel really relieved, and then the next day, just because you've absorbed what the person told you, just because you've absorbed that problem, just because you've absorbed that deep emotion, that's gonna crush you, that's gonna break you. And one thing about healing is that though it's not linear, you just can't put yourself in a situation where you're gonna have to revisit a past just because you want to help somebody. That takes a lot of courage, that takes bravery. Hence, when you're not going to address your past traumas, the healthiest relationship that you're ever going to have, from friendship to romantic relationships or platonic relationships, as you may call it, those would address your traumas. And you're gonna have to work through that. Either you're gonna have to work through all of that alone, or they're gonna help you work through that. When people try to help you work through that, don't ever take that opportunity for granted. Let them help you, but you need to help yourself too. Because if you don't, that's gonna affect more of your future. You know what I mean? That's not only would it affect your past self, but that's gonna be like a really, really hard situation where you're gonna put yourself into, because you might lose some friends. You might lose some people whom you thought would help you go through every process together. Like, you might lose these people. I'm just telling you, if they offer you help, please take that help, but you really, 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 really need to make at least a little effort to help yourself either. Let them help you, but help yourself too. If back then I've had like all of my relationships had to have validation from others, because my childhood had a lot to do with asking every person if I did the right thing or not. Hence, entering a relationship where I have no clue at all what I'm gonna do with every decision that I'm gonna make. I have to tell somebody in order for that somebody to be a part of that decision, so that if I were to be wrong, both of us would be wrong. Not good at all. Because I felt like if I were to do something right, somebody has to tell me the right thing to do. And that has ruined a lot of relationships, from friendship to relationships, because every problem that I've got from my friends, every problem that I've got from my past relationships, there's gonna be a person who would know about this, and every decision that I'm gonna make, whether to cut ties with people or whether to like end an argument or end a relationship, it's gonna be a decision from somebody that I've opened up about those, from somebody that where I've opened this door. I hope that makes sense. And the biggest lesson in that situation is that is a characteristic that I've always felt like it was normal, but it really wasn't. Like, you have to be accountable of all the decisions you make, because validation from others, like, sure, you can go to others for advice. Sure, you can go to others to like open up. And other people might say, what do you want me to do? Is it something that, do you want me to tell you what to do? Do you want me to listen? Or do you want me to tell you an advice? And most of the people would say, I'm going to give you an advice, but this is just in my opinion. The decision is yours to make, and it's not mine. This is just an advice from another perspective, and that is up to you if you're going to make the decision or not. Should never, ever, ever, ever get all of the decisions that you're going to make throughout your relationship. You should never, ever, ever, ever get validation from other people, just so that when your decision falls through, it's not going to be your fault, but you and the other person's fault. Never, ever, ever do that. Again, you have to take accountability for every actions and decisions that you're gonna make. That's gonna be my second biggest lesson. Lesson number 3 has everything to do with the maturity between age and maturity between experience and knowledge. Friendships and relationships, both group and individual. A lot of friends that I've got are like my age, but we don't think alike. Like, we don't, how do I say it so that I wouldn't get like, I need to word this really good. They want to have fun. A lot of people my age want to have fun. And a lot of people who are about 30 want to have fun too. Like, they don't really pressure themselves so much on their future because it's not that big of a deal for them. Whereas I've met a lot of people who think the same as I do, but their age, the age difference that we've got is a bit, it's really an age difference, and it's an age gap. And when I'm talking to these certain people, they're talking about their experiences, and most of them had difficult stages in their early life. They have like this difficult stages in their early life. They also had fun in between those, and when they had fun, it might minimum of 2 years. I would say most of the people I met, it's gonna be a minimum of 2 years where they had fun. Say 16 till 18. And those 2 years were not really something that they want to go back to. For example, partying at the club, drinking, or sneaking out, or just like coming home between 3 a.m. till 5 a.m. and waking up at 3 p.m. That is not something that they look forward to. They look forward to growing. They look forward to healing. They look forward to enjoying their life at the moment, but it's gonna be a lot of focusing on themselves. And when I say maturing on age, it's gonna be like somebody whom I would say, like, in my opinion, it's gonna be somebody who experiences this pains, who experiences this newfound respect for food, who experiences this newfound respect for life. And a lot of people who mature on experiences and knowledge, it's going to be a very, very, very different situations because they might be 21 or 18 or 16, but they think like 35-year-olds. Their emotional quotient is really, it's grown. It's grown. They've seen grief. They have experienced grief. They've seen love. They've experienced love. They've seen heartbreak, and they've experienced heartbreak. And I think for lesson number 3, when you're trying to put yourself in a relationship, again, friendship or individual relationship, you're gonna get judged a lot. You're gonna get judged a lot because not a lot of people understand how one person jumps from being 21 and having a relationship with a 25-year-old guy. Not a lot of people would understand it because, like, how are you guys compatible if you've got a really different age gap, and you wouldn't understand the experiences of each other because he's 25, he's got a different friend group. She's 21, she's got a different friend group. Not a lot of people would understand that, but the biggest lesson that you're gonna learn is that no matter what people say, it is not their decision. It is not their relationship. It's not their decision to have that relationship. It's not their relationship. It's not their problem. It's not their life even. It's yours. So whatever they're gonna say, don't even for the slightest mind those judgments, because it's their opinion. It does not matter. But another lesson that I've learned so far, I've just had the healthiest breakup ever. And this man has given me, we've grown so much. It's just that as I said, I'm 21, he is 25, turning 25. He's got different priorities. Though we meet in certain and specific situations, we just really connect to each other. It's just that he has different priorities in life, and he has a very personal goal where he doesn't want to wait until he's 30 to start his life. As when I'm gonna want to start my life, it's gonna be too late for him. Hence, it was a really, really, really good breakup. It was the healthiest breakup I've ever had because he was so honest with what he wanted. And we've talked so much for hours about our future. And it's where we've realized that while we meet with our personal goals in the moment, we wouldn't meet in the future. So it's likely the relationship is going to end whether we like it or not, whether it's gonna be today or 5 years after. So we made the decision that it's gonna be like, in order for us not to hurt ourselves a little bit deeper, it's gonna be best for the both of us to end it now rather than waiting 5 years to end it. And it was hard, but I think it was the best decisions we have ever made. And a lot of my family were right. You really, 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 really have to work on yourself before you're gonna enter something so big. And after that breakup, I realized that I owe my family a big apology. My aunts and aunties who told me that it's still not that time where you're gonna put yourself in a relationship, because there is a lot of specific goals that you want to meet, and that does not include that. I always thought they were wrong, and I wanted to prove them wrong, but they were right. Here's the thing. People come and go. You also have something to do with it. Either you make people come and go. You're the sole reason why people come and go. It's gonna be in every relationship that you're gonna have, again, friendship and personal relationships, individual relationships. All throughout friendships, there's gonna be a lot of arguments. There's gonna be a lot of fun. There's gonna be a lot of arguments, healthy or not healthy arguments. Even generally, this is just a relationship, great. Generally, healthy or not healthy arguments, there's gonna be a lot of decisions, so it's gonna affect your life. It's gonna affect how you go about your day, but there's gonna be one decision that's gonna affect the rest of your life. If you're about to make a huge decision to cut people off of your life, that's gonna take a lot of work to do, because if you've spent a big portion of your life going through something, and these people have been there the very beginning of that situation, it's gonna be hard for you and for that person, because when you're cutting off some people, you're cutting off all the memories. It's something that you don't want to remember, but it keeps coming back. The smallest details that would even put you to remember those memories. It's gonna be a lot of pictures, or even the slightest photographs, etc. It's gonna have to deal with that. But that would be your denial. That's gonna be your denial stage, because cutting people off is like grieving, okay? You need to understand that. That's gonna be your denial stage. And then you go through the phase of grief. Their grief, it comes and goes. It's never going to end. It's there. It's gonna be always, always, always there. And then there's acceptance. You just have to accept the gravity of the situation. And then there's healing. Healing is for yourself. It's for you. It's for your growth. It's for your maturity. And if there's one thing that I'm 100% sure about, if you put a lot of effort to heal yourself, if you put a lot of effort to take care of yourself, you would realize that that thing had to happen in order for you to make room and adjustments in your life, to make room for bigger blessings, bigger opportunities, bigger learnings. The change of perspective is a really, really huge thing moving forward. When you've cut ties, there's like a newfound lesson that you never knew would ever exist. And when you found that lesson, it's gonna shift your life, meaning you're gonna attract a lot of people who would think the same ways as you do, who have grown the same way as you did, who would speak about friendships and relationships as beautiful as you would. And I think a lot of people don't know yet about healing is that it is something that pushes you to move forward and to keep going. And it is something that you would how do I word that perfectly? Wait, hang on, let me think. And in that process of healing, you're gonna meet a new version of yourself that you would know that you would never even for a second thought existed. And that is something really fulfilling because, as I said on my first podcasts, I enjoyed living a hateful life. I could even like walk through the streets. I don't care what other people would tell me, but I'm gonna judge every person that walk past me. I've addressed that because I was always told to not look like this, to not dress like that, to not speak like that, to not do this, to not do that. I was always told that way, and I took that the wrong way. Hence, in order for me to find the fulfillment that they can tell me what to do, but I'm gonna tell people what they are. Disgusting, I know. Ridiculous, outrageous. And I've grown out of that a lot. And I never knew that I just needed a change of perspective. And I would easily, like, how do I say it? I would easily I don't give the love that other people deserve. I wouldn't do that to like my friends before. If in my past self, I wouldn't even for a second thought of giving a little bit of love to my friends, even my sisters and my brothers. I wouldn't even give an ounce of that. But I give it freely to other people. And I don't know why is that until I figured out that it was because it was hard for me to please other people. Because no matter what I do, no matter what love language I would give to other people, they just don't they just show like they don't really appreciate that. And I would be like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna cope up with the fact that I'm not gonna give an ounce of love to the people that are surrounding me at the moment, but I'm gonna give it freely to other people because that's easier. When I knew about that, it completely shattered my heart because I always thought it was normal, but it really isn't. It's ridiculous when you hear it. Hearing me say it makes me puke. But when I've addressed that, I just have this very light feeling where showing care doesn't make me feel guilty at all. Showing love doesn't make me feel guilty at all. It's like it's so lightweight that it's freely given, and the people who are surrounding me at the moment accepts it really, really well. And I love that. Because if I haven't found the right environment in my adulthood, I would still, to this very day, I wouldn't be this person. Like I don't recognize who I was before. Like there was one time for a moment I was reading and I'm like, how did I get so blessed by God? He gave me another chance to renew my life. He gave me another chance to repair friendships. He gave me another chance to experience new relationships. And I think that's beautiful. So that's it for my relationship guide. The very main factor of this actually is heal. Because if you choose not to, and if you choose not to address any of your traumas or childhood experiences or anything at all, if you don't want to do that, think about it. There is so much more to hate, and it's a really good world, and love is a really good world to live in. I think that's all. Thank you so much for listening. It's Dixie, and you're gonna find me at Dixie Misty in all of my social media platforms. And thank you guys for 35K. Love you all. Bye.